Cheers to everyone for watching. My name is Mitchell Hall. I am Canadian and I review Canadian albums. And today I'm going to be reviewing the new City and Colour record, A Pill for Loneliness. Oh fuck yeah, bud. Bring on the hype. Let's go, boy. Let's go. You know you're hyped for this. You have no idea how hyped my boy is for this. He has fucking 4 fucking records and he's got the newest one in his hand. He's ready to go. Let's go, boy. Let's go, Mitchell. Let's go, Mitchell. This is the 6th studio album from singer-songwriter Dallas Green, one of Canada's living legends. Every time I mention Dallas Green in the conversation, there's no argument. He is one of the best guys. He's one of the nicest guys. He is one of the best musicians in the country. And in my humble opinion, he is one of the best singers alive today. To many people out there, he is known as the clean vocalist for the Canadian post-hardcore band Alexis On Fire. Singing his trademark tenor falsetto is so clean and so clear. I would say Dallas is in a bit of an artistic peak nowadays. Not only did he come back with Alexis On Fire for a comeback tour, but he's also started his own record company, Still Records, in which this album comes out on. And there are rumors of another collaborative album with pop singer Pink on the project You and Me. Now, in the few years since his last studio album, If I Should Go Before You, I've had kind of been turned off from Dallas's music. I found this album full of his long-form songs and blues rock tone to be kind of one note and hard to get through in a sitting. But I recently got back into his catalog with the stunning live album he put out last year, Guide Me Back Home. It's this massive album that pieces together different songs from Dallas's 2017 tour across Canada. This record saw Dallas getting back to his stripped back roots, many of the songs just being formed by either him or his partner Matt Kelly. And he had moved many of the songs from If I Should Go Before You into a new acoustic light that didn't have the kind of blues rock jammy instrumentation that kind of turned me off from listening to that project. It was also on this live record that Dallas had voiced a bunch of frustrations. Frustrations such as wanting to make this tour specific to Canada because of Donald Trump's presidency. Not to mention the behavior that he's been observing with social media and phones being absolved into our lives. Now, I don't want to poke those politics or social media bears with a 50-foot pole, and neither does Dallas on this record. Instead, he addresses his own behaviors and observation and ties all these songs around the theme of distraction. Whether that's distracting yourself from violence, from hate, from self-acceptance, to even love and being the genuine person that you are. So I've been seeing A Pill for Loneliness as the right step for Dallas to take in his career, not only because he tackles these themes on these songs, but also because of the new instrumentation. For the first time, Dallas has worked in keyboards and synthesizer programming into his songs. It's not just guitars and effects anymore. This leads to many great voices for melodies. I see this best on the song Difficult Love, which is probably the closest Dallas has ever gotten to a pop country song. Just the quick rhythms of his verses give me that vibe, except it's done in a production style that's more ethereal and to his palette. The song Mountain of Madness is a beautiful, heartfelt ballad about division and how obvious it is to Dallas and how it should be to us. We also see the theme of the divisive mountain on the song The War Years, which is this sparse ballad, feels very dystopian, with Dallas singing on the chorus like he's performing this elegy for this wasteland that once was Earth. The song Imagination for me is one of the many standouts on this album. Dallas beautifully transitions between 2 very different keys and his melodies sound very folky at times. To me, the chorus is one of the most throttling on the record, capstoned by his trademark falsetto, which just stands out. On this song, Dallas is acknowledging that if he keeps on imagining for a better future and doesn't live in the present, he'll pretty much end straight into hell. We also see this theme of acknowledgement on the opening track, Living in Lightning. At first, I wasn't exactly sure what Dallas was referencing on this track, but as I pieced together themes of nature and humanity from the record, I got the sense that Dallas is acknowledging the distraction that he's been having from actually living and actually focusing on the things that he loves. This is also a great track to kick off the album, not only because of its simple meter and its simple melodies, but the layered calls and responses from everything, the keyboard, the guitars, the vocals, the bass, are tying through every song on this record. After the opening, we get the song Astronaut, which is the first track I heard from this album. At first, I wasn't exactly sure if I was hearing an actual City and Colour song or just an outtake because the synths were so new to me. But I eventually really warmed up to it and enjoyed the call and responses again from the instruments in the outro. And the lyrics discuss Dallas distancing himself from humanity as he partakes the character of an astronaut just observing everything. All the squalor, all the mistakes, all the love and hope. I feel like Dallas's artistic evolution comes to a peak with the track Song of Unrest. The instruments on here are totally foreign for a City and Colour song. There's barely any guitar, and when it is, it actually sounds like the chords from his previous earliest records. This track features atmospheric synths and sampled drums of all things, with deep drums and soaring falsetto backing vocals that kind of sounds like he's in a tropical environment. And though this track was another adjustment for me, I did enjoy liking it a lot, especially how he is singing in a scale that is totally different from the pentatonic scale he's normally singing in. Here, Dallas is again being sorrowful, but this time for all of the hatred that he sees in the world. Kind of getting to a world truth about hatred inside of ourselves and us not having the target to pin that frustration on. Dallas addresses this starkly on the song Me in the Moonlight, which is the shortest song on the album but packs the biggest punch. Somehow City and Colour saved one of the best songs for last, the song Young Lovers, which wakes me up from the ambience of the last few tracks, bringing in drums and guitars that are really loud and nice harmonies too. And I think Dallas penned some of the best lyrics on this song too. Where did we go wrong? Will there be a future to look back from? Feels like God is long gone from the creatures who created him. We could give it all away, the machinery of violence. Still we gather for a feast of praise to the devouring mouth of war. Dallas is offering a solution on this song for every kind of problem that he's addressed. And it's a fairly simple one. And what he's getting at on this song is just to have as much spirit in your life as possible. And he uses the characters of young lovers who have never known heartache to fill this role. The people that have obviously inspired him to have a thirst for love and for life and to do things without consequences is actually a fairly hardcore mentality. And I like how Dallas is bringing that kind of culture and his own experiences into his lyrics to kind of finally have an answer for any kind of disorienting question he poses onto himself. The last track, Lay Me Down, is actually a brilliant closer to this album. It has him playing piano with these synths and what sounds like timpanis, and this beautiful pedal steel as well. It really feels like a dystopian landscape again. He really ties up the themes of this record well. I really enjoy the line, "Beyond the cries of seers and fools, a paradise built on forgotten truths." This song really feels like a rest from all the questions that Dallas has been posing on this record, and it's well needed. Throughout this record, Dallas has been trying to find some kind of peace by asking questions, but he ends up finding it in this kind of dramatic, tragic, atmospheric music. As if he's almost sorrowful for asking all these questions in the first place when the truth was really right in front of him all along. I really love how City and Colour had tied up themes of contemporary rock with blues rock, soft rock, and folk. If there was one big criticism on this album for me, though, it's that I feel like I wasn't excited or moved enough by what Dallas was trying to say. Dallas was never one to write about reality, and if he did, it was early on in his career, and since then it's mostly been rooted in metaphors. And the lyrics never lead to moments where it's too fragile or too jarring or too real, and I feel like I might be moved more if there were more, sensitive topics or pieces like that. I feel it could be argued that this album sounds more like his past records as well, but I see the artistic growth like head on. I feel like Dallas has come to a giant discovery on this album, and metaphorically speaking, how he's taken a giant weight off of his shoulders, how he's come to a giant solution through this record. So yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of this record. I'm feeling a light to decent 9 on this thing. If you like hearing what I had to say, if you already listened to the album and like to share your thoughts, comment with them down below. Like and share this video as well to all of your Canadian friends, all of your City and Colour fans. And be sure to subscribe to my channel for more Canadian album reviews. Special thanks to my subscribers as well. My name is Mitchell Hall. Cheers again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one out there.